Ram Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Raja 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 Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Raja 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 Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Sita Ram Ram Ram
Rama, Bhagwan Ram is a manifestation or an avatar of Lord Vishnu. There is an entire epic dedicated to Bhagwan Shri Ram. It is called a Ramayan. Ramayan means, or the Ram Charitra Manas means the ocean. It means that it is this ocean-like scripture that talks about Bhagwan Ram. And why is it compared to that of the ocean? Because the ocean has no, you can't find the beginning, you can't find the end, you can't measure the depth, you don't know. It is uncertain. And so in the epics of Bhagwan Shri Ram, one of the things that is very noticeable about this is that the name of Lord Shiva is sung in the Ramayana. The praises of Lord Shiva is sung in the Ramayana. Do you know where the katha of the marriage of Lord Shiva and Sati is sung? It is sung in the Ramayana. Do you know this? The epic about where Sati Devi sat in the fire and all of those things, they all mentioned in the Ramayana, in the Ramcharitamanas, the Holy Ramayana. And before any mention is made of Shri Ram and Bhagwan Vishnu coming as Ram and any of those things, it talks about Lord Shiva and then it says, Lord Shiva narrates the Katha to Mother Parvati about the arrival of Shri Ram and how he takes birth in the kingdom of Dasrath and then and only then. But in the Ramayana, it tells us that while Bhagwan Shankar narrates the Katha to Mother Parvati about Shri Ram, the author of the Ramayana, whose name is Goswami Dev Bhagwanas, Goswami Tulsidas Ji. Even Tulsidas became this great bhakta, this great servant. Das means servant, you know that? Das means servant. Rakesh didn't come, so he sent a man whose name was Das. And Das acted as the filler in the absence of Rakesh. And Das means servant. And that's what the servant does, you know. The servant fills the void. The servant makes sure that everything is well taken care of. That's the duty of the servant. Tonight, I am a servant. My duty is to make sure that everything is well taken care of. And we all sit and worship in the most appropriate way. So I am the servant this evening. And we are all servants this evening. When we came here, we didn't come here based on our bank account. And we didn't come here based on our job title. And we didn't come here based on what country or which part of the world we live in. We came here because we came as servants of Bhagwan. Everybody agree with that? We are all servants. Nobody want to be called a servant, huh? You feel as an inferior handle. I am the servant first. Me. And then all of us, we are servants together. Because we believe in service. You know how we believe in service? The motto of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation is service to God, is service to And when man is served, God becomes happy. And when our work on the earth becomes service to God through man, all things are added unto us. We don't only preach that, we practice that. Because out in Palmy's Park, we have created an opportunity for man to go and to pray. We have created the atmosphere of prayer where anybody can go. Regardless of your creed, regardless of your status, regardless of whichever part of the country you live, you can go to Palmy's Park and you can pray. We have created that. And we created that with the intention to encourage you to pray. Every time we host a function in the group, we create that opportunity to go and pray. I said last night in Palmy's Park, because every night I go there after here and we do the Hawan. And I said I don't know what jadoo, what magic Dave and Nigel work. But I don't know a single thing about how the park becomes possible and who pays the bill. I don't even know what the bill looks like. I don't know a single thing. But what I know is that whatever they do it selflessly. And so the entire name of the group is lifted through that pious act. And for that, the only thing that will come in return is blessings, and more blessings. Do you know that? Because anything you do selflessly, you receive without even, you can't even give thought. The blessing just comes out of nowhere. Have you ever heard about the birth of Goswami Tulsidas? Have you ever heard? Did you all ever hear? His greatness came as a blessing from Lord Shiva. Do you know that? Let me tell you in a nutshell. But before I tell, I so love this chant. I said to the group, we will use this chant. In this yajna, all the yajnas for this year will use this chant. And Sharon said, no, I don't like it. And I said, well, because you don't like it, I have grown to love it. So you know what? We will sing the chant. And the chant goes like this. Sing with me. And this evening, well, it's not evening again. This morning, I want you to clap. When you clap, you wake up your body. You know that? Clap. Let's wake up ourselves. Everybody together. Right, Dave? So you wouldn't fall asleep. Rama 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 Ram Bole. Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Atmadev was married to a being whose name was Hulsi. Atmadev was a Brahmana, a holy man. He came from the lineage of Brahmanam. And so Atmadev and Hulsi, they had prayed to Bhagwan to bless them with a child. Hulsi, she was in family way, and Hulsi, she was about to give birth. So they invited into their ashram, into their home, a chamain. Have you ever heard that word before? Chamain? Who is a chamain? What is a chamain? A chamain is the midwife. Long ago it had no nursing home, no Gulfview medical and thing, So the midwife will come home to deliver the baby. And so as the chamain came, she will spend the days leading up to the birth of the child to make sure that she is there and there will be a safe delivery and the child will be safe, out of trouble. And so as the chamain came, what will happen? Hulsi gave birth. Hulsi gave birth to a little boy. But when Hulsi gave birth to the boy, the chamain came running out of the room and she started to scream and cry at the top of her voice. And Atmadev thought that something had happened to the child or something had happened to Hulsi. And so Atmadev, he too started to cry. He had no clue why she was crying, but he started to cry because he became frightened by her reaction. And when she came out, she looked at Atmadev and she says, Atmadev, something bad has happened. It is a bad omen. And Atmadev says, my wife okay? She said, yes. Is the child okay? Yes. Then what is so bad? She says, your child has been born with a head full of hair and a mouth full of teeth. Every teeth has already taken its, and so the mouth is full of teeth. And so this is a bad sign. It is a bad thing. You must get rid of this child. Imagine somebody telling you to get rid of your newborn baby. The baby that you have been carrying in your womb for 9 months. You couldn't wait for the child to come. And somebody say at birth, get rid of the child. What will you do? What will you do? Will you do that? The child was born under the influences of that nakshatra called Mool. Mool nakshatra. And it means that in the time of Mool, proper worship has to be done and the father should not see the child. Because if the father sees the child, you know what will happen? Death and distress and poverty and different things will happen to the family. That is not opinion. That is scriptural. And so, the shaman indicated to Atmadev, you must get rid of the child. Atmadev wondered what he will do. And in thinking, Atmadev is now planning what he will do because he can't see the child. He has to get rid of the child. What will he do? Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram.
Sing with me, everybody. Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Hulsi goes to sleep. Atmadev has not seen the child. And as Hulsi goes to sleep, what will happen? The midwife didn't leave. She remains. And so, Hulsi has developed a high fever. And in the night, suddenly, Hulsi dies. The baby is now without a mother. And the baby has a father that can't see him. Atmadev, he is distressed. Is it that the words of the shaman is coming to? Is it that she spoke the truth? Is it really a curse? Is it? He's confused. Atmadev says, he calls out to his housekeeper, his helper, his maid. And the name of the maid, her name is Chunya. Chunya comes and Chunya takes the baby and she takes the baby away from the home of Atmadev. And so as the baby is taken into the home of Chunya, Atmadev makes the vow that he will look after the child. But while now in the company of Chunya, news reaches that Atmadev has died. So now biological mother, biological father, they have died, and now he is in the home of a stranger who is the mother, surrogate mother. And the word surrogate is mentioned in the Ramayana. Surrogate. That's where we got that word from. Till today we use that word. Surrogate mother. Have you ever heard that word before? And so living in the care of this mother, what will happen? She was the servant. How rich will the servant be? She hardly had anything. So she trained this child in such a way that he will go and beg. And whatever he begged for, this is what both of them they lived on. But one day when he went out to beg, you know what happened? As he made his way back home and coming back home, Chunya has died. Now that the maid has died, he is an orphan. He has no guardian. There is nobody to look after him. And having no guardian, You know what happens? He begins to roam and live on the street. The only thing he knows about is begging. That's all he knows about, begging. Do you know you'd have some people, although they're still begging? You know anybody like that? In this room here, who is the greatest beggar? In this room here, who is the greatest beggar? Let me show you who is the greatest beggar. I'll lift my two hands, and if I could have lifted my 2 foot too, I would have lifted it. The greatest beggar in this room is me. I am the one who have been saying all the time, the Ganesh Utsav Foundation is building a temple, can you all help? I'm the one who says we're having Shivaraatri. Shobha, you will do the food Shivaraatri night, and Nadira, you will do the food the first night, and Dave, you will do the food the next night, and I'm the one. And I'm begging, and when I beg, when I ask, never once did I say, I want. I never will go to anybody and say, I want. Give me. Have you ever heard that from me? I never say I want, and I might want it, I never say I want. And even if I want something, I have a unique way of making it look like it's not me. So I say, Auntie Angie, Nadira feeling to eat fry okra, you could make that? I said to Sonia and Kelly, Nadira wants, actually Tara Maharaj wants the cake. And the first cake was done with Tara Maharaj. But do you know what happened? Tara Maharaj never tasted the first cake. And then when we realized the cake was tasting so good, we tell them, well, we know we need a next cake. And they say, who need the cake? We say, well, the first one tastes so good, everybody, and this time nobody tastes the cake. Qualities that we have, Rogi, Yogi, and Bhogi. Have you ever heard about it? Rogi, Yogi, and Bhogi. Bhogi means that you eat anything and everything. You don't share. Why are you looking at me? And then, the third time, I say we need a cake. You know what happened? Karma has a unique way of coming back. Up to now, I never get a taste of the cake. The child is an orphan. The child has nowhere to call home. The child is roaming and begging, and the child inhabits a tree. And the child sleeps under the tree in the night time. You could sleep under a tree comfortably. You know who could do that? Papa Malu. He will grab a piece of cardboard and sleep anywhere. Do you know that? Anywhere. He will lie down and sleep. And make himself comfortable. You and I, we want our bed and our pillow and our blanket and our air condition and our, everything is our. Huh? And an hour will come when you will have nothing. What you'll do then? The child, the rain is falling all day. The child is so doused. But the tree is the home. And so in the night, the child goes under the tree and lies down on the wet floor. Trembling, curls up his body to keep warm. You ever curl up? Actually, it is normal to curl up yourself when you're feeling warm. True or not? The body does it automatically without even thinking. It doesn't even register in your mind. You curl up. And you pull your hands together and you try to warm up yourself by yourself. But as the child is lying on the ground, in the pouring rain, passing overhead on a Pushpak Viman. Have you ever heard that word before? Pushpak Viman? In 2022, we call it Boeing 474. And we call it, what is it? What's the big one that you like, Swami? A what? 838. There's an Emirates fan, you know. Fascinated by those huge planes. Big plane, small, same crash, same dead. Big plane, bigger dead. Small plane, smaller dead. Same dead. On a Pushpak Viman, a celestial chariot gliding in the air. The Ramayana was written in a time before aeroplane and before helicopter and before magic carpet and before any of those things, you know. Pushpak Viman, a celestial chariot, gliding. And who is sitting there? Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. And Mother Parvati, she observes this child down on the ground. And it is normal for a mother to feel the pain of a child. She doesn't have to be the biological mother, you know. It is her instinct to feel the pain of somebody else's child. True or not? And as they go back to Mount Kailash, Mother Parvati says, Lord Shiva, I want you to do me a favor. Can you do me a favor? And Lord Shiva says, what? Mother Parvati says, you see that child? Do something to save that child. And in a sapna, have you ever heard that word? Sapna? Sapna means what? In a sapna, Lord Shiva appeared to a guru. And appearing to the guru, what will happen? Lord Shiva spoke to the guru in dream. Have you ever dreamt God? You ever dream Lord Shiva? Mother Durga? Baba, I dream Lord Hanuman. You know what I mean? Something going to happen bad. Because anytime I dream God, bad things happen. You know why? If you were good and had God in you, then you didn't have to think that God will bring bad news to you. Because there is no possibility that God is going to bring bad news to you. Because God is all about good and positivity. And so, Lord Shiva goes in the dream. And Lord Shiva tells the Guru, he says, if you really want to make me happy, bring that child into your ashram. And under your care and under your supervision, adopt him as though he is your son. Imagine you dream something like that in the night. And it was as real as real. Will you come off your bed and go looking San Fernando under a tree for a child? Will you do that? Cindy, you'll do that? You'll leave Bodnaf and go? Huh? Central, you'll leave Lengua and come? Under the tree? The Guru gets up in the dead of the night, in the pouring rain. Imagine you had to come out in the pouring rain, in the dead of the night. We had to get up in the pouring rain 6 o'clock in the morning and we thought it had to do. Number one, I messaged and I said, can we take a rain check? It is raining. We will go sometime in the day, not so early. Lord Shiva taking a rest, it's cold this morning. And when I thought my president will say to me, no, we're ready, let's go. She said, I agree. And then I didn't feel too bad. Because then the vice president said, well, that's better. And I had the sound support of the entire committee. The Guru takes the child into his ashram. And the Guru begins to impart knowledge. It is the duty of the Guru to impart knowledge. It is the duty of the Guru to embrace the Chela, the Shisha. But you could only do that when there is a willingness, you know. You can't force anybody to do anything. You all know that? I said to my godson, who is a Pundit in training, come to the Yajna. And he went somewhere else. He said to me, well, I went there last night and I'll come by you tonight. And I said to him on the phone in an angry tone, when the Guru gives an instruction, everything else is set aside. And the instruction of the Guru, you must follow. That's the respect you're supposed to give to the Guru. The child now lives in the ashram. But what will happen? Something is going to happen. Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama Rama Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Ram Bole, Ram Bole.
Rama 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 Ram guru now has the child in the ashram. The child has a name. You know what's the name of the child? Do you know what's the name of the child? The name of the child is Ram Bola. Why is he named Ram Bola? Because the first words that came out of his lip was Ram. Bolo or Bola means to speak. Bolona, speak. And so the first word he spoke was Ram. So his name was Ram Bola, the one who said Ram. Ram Bola is now living in the ashram of the Guru. But Ram Bola reaches the age of marriage. You know that age? You know that age? You all remember that age? You haven't reached that age yet, then? Swami didn't reach that age yet. Reach the age of marriage, and the Guru makes a match. The Guru finds a match. I want to tell you, you're my chela, I love you. Find your own match. I am not finding anybody for anybody. Let me just say that again. I am not finding anybody for anybody. The only match you'll get from me is this one. Let me see it. This is the only match I'll give you. You all seeing it? Matches. No other kind of match. The Guru makes an alliance. And so Ram Bola is getting married. But on the day of the Vivah, while the wedding has happened, and Ram Bola is bringing the Dulahin back to the ashram, they reach home to recognize that the Guru has died. Now the Guru has left Ram Bola, and Ram Bola has a wife now. Having the wife, what will happen? What's the name of the wife? Anybody knows? Anybody knows? Having this wife, Ram Bola, he doesn't give her a break. He's so accustomed to losing everybody that anywhere she's going and anything she's doing, he's like a tail behind her. She has no time to breathe. He's right there because you know why? He's afraid she leaves. He's afraid to lose her. Our president acts like an analysis coordinator. She said, I've recognized something, and she's talking about some person, and she said, I realize that anytime that person gets close to anybody, too close, that person just distance himself and herself, and she's saying. And in my mind I say, how is she formulating all of that in her mind? Why is the wife of Ram Bola, she has become so frustrated. She's bathing, he's bathing. She's sleeping, he's sleeping. She's cooking, he cooking. Anything she's doing, he's right there with her. How would you feel if somebody tail you all the time? The dog comes jumping up because the dog love you, you know. And you say, God, move now. You only buy my foot, you only buy my foot. Huh? Have you ever done that before? What will happen? One day she can no longer bear the frustration. So she tells him, she's demanding from him, I want you to get me some flowers. She specifies which flowers it is, and it's a flower that grows in the next state, somewhere far away. And she said, go bring me, you really love me? Go bring that for me. You ever hear about that thing called love? You ever hear about that thing called love? I'm not even sure if I'm describing it the right way. Huh? That thing. He's so in love. Tum paas aayi, you muskurayi, tum bhi na jaane kya sapne mein aaye. Ab to mera dil. You know what dil? Dil means what? Your heart. Jage na sota hai, kya karu hai, kuch hota hai. Something is happening in the heart, and that's how love operates, you know. Something in the heart triggers a different kind of adrenaline when you see the person you love. I'm talking like a real experienced person, huh? And so, when he goes to get the flower, she writes a nice note and she leaves it. And in a note, the note is saying, I'm so fed up and tired of you. I've left. I am leaving. Do not come searching for me. I do not want you to find me. The mind designed in such a way, anything they tell you don't do, that's what you want to do. Anything you can't have, that's what you want. True or not? They say don't eat no flour. Go on a diet. No flour, no rice. Huh? No roti, no rice. And that's the time your mouth watering for roti and butter. That's the time you want to eat rice. And the time when you're not supposed to have it is the time when it is most appetizing. True or not? And you say, well, I would cheat and take a little piece. And when you take that little piece, you know what happens? You can't stop. You have to end up eating more than you anticipated. And then when you don't eat it, you say, wow, do. You know what? You drink some kombucha to digest it quick. You know what's kombucha? Apple cider vinegar. And you don't know about that, Sharon? You have to be old like me to know where's that. And he goes in search of the wife. And when he goes, he notices that she is in her room, her bedroom. The Ramayana gives an elaborate explanation. He begins to climb up. He climbs up into the room through a window. Love make you do all kind of crazy thing, Climb up and fall down and run away and all kind of crazy things. Love make you do. You all know that? I find you not answering. You were never in love. Mahatma? Mahatma say. And so, you see how she answered? With enthusiasm. And when she shake her head, Dan Paul bend his own. He climbs into the room. The Ramayana says he holds on to a snake as the rope and climb into the room. That's how blind love is. You're not even thinking about the snake. You just want to be with that person. And when he goes into the room, she says to him, I told you not to come looking for me. And he says, well, I love you, so I came in search of you. And she's about to give him the best advice anybody could give anybody. If you could love Ram, God, half as much as you love me, then your soul will get salvation when you die. Don't waste your time to love me. I am of the material world. Love God. He leaves that place and he goes to the bank of the holy river. And sitting at the bank of the holy river, he begins to do worship to the Tulsi. And diligently every day and night, he will go and he will offer the water and offer the arti and pray to the Tulsi. And so he became Tulsi Das, the servant of Mother Tulsi. That's where he get the name from. And then he was given the drishti. He was given the divine vision. So you know what? To write about the nectar and this ocean of the leelas of Bhagavan Sri Ram. All through the grace of Lord Shiva. All with the blessings of Lord Shiva. Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Bole
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 Ram Bole Ram Bole
Ram Bole Ram Bole
Ram Bole Ram Bole
Ram Bole Ram Bole
Ram 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 Bole.
Ram 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 Bole.
I want everybody to stand. Let's take flowers and everybody stand. Let's all stand. Ram 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 Bole.
Ram 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 Bole.
Om Vigani योगीश्वराय वरदासुरप्रालम्बोदराय सकलाय जगद्धिताय नागासुरप्यज्ञविभूषिता गौरीसुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात्। ॐ संवत्सरा शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पार्वतीनाथाय मंगलाय तनोहरि। संवत्सरा शिवाय आसनमिहा कक्षैहा दृष्टा संकल्पम ममस्तु उमापते महादेव की जय। And while standing now, we pay the lingam of Lord Shiva. Brahma Murari Surajita Lingam Nirmale Vashita Sovita Lingam Janamajaduka Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Deva Muni Pravarachita Lingam Kamadahan Karunakaraningam Ravana Darpa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Sarva Sugandhi Sulipita Lingam Buddhi Vidarasana Karana Lingam Siddhasura Suravarita Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Kanaka Mahamani Bhushita Lingam Padapati Vesita Sovita Lingam Sanchita Papa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Kanaka Mahamani Bhushita Lingam Panapati Vesita Sovita Lingam Daksasuya Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Kuma Kuma Chandana Nipita Lingam Pankajaha Manasovita Lingam Sanchita Papa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Devaganachita Sevita Lingam Bavar Bhakti Vivar Charaningam Dinakar Koti Prabhakara Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam.
Shivaya, Om Namah 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 Shivaya.
अष्टदने परिवेशितलिङ्गं सर्वसुमरभवकारणलिङ्गम् अष्टदरिद्रविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय,
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
सुरवर पुष्पसदाचितलिङ्गं परात्परं परमात्मकलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
वेद सुक्तं समायुक्तं यज्ञशामा समन्विते सर्वे प्ररे देवा वाससे प्रतिगृहीताम्। ॐ येना परिवरो राजा दान् महाबलायेना त्वं वर्णामि रक्षाट्टु सुरश्रेष्ठां हिमाचला नमो नमः। तदेव लग्नं सुरिनं तदेव ताराबलं चन्द्रबलं तदेव विद्याबलं देवाबलं तदेव लक्ष्मीपते गृयुगं स्मरामि। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ श्रीकण्डचन्दनं दिव्यं गन्धार्यो सुमनोहर विलेपनां सुरश्रेष्ठां चन्दनं प्रतिगृहीतां संवत्सरा शिवाय चन्दनं समर्पयामि। ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् चन्दनं समर्पयामि। ॐ घण्टद्वारा दुरादर्शं नित्यपुष्पकरीश्वरीं ईश्वरं तामहो श्रीगन्धदानं समर्पयामि। ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
ॐ हरिद्राय सर्वसौभाग्यराणि सर्वालङ्कारमुक्तामि देवी त्वं प्रतिगृहीताम्। कुङ्कुमं कान्तिं दिव्यकामिनी कामाट् सम्भव कुङ्कुमम् अर्चितं देवा प्रसिद्ध पुरुषोत्तम संवत्सरा शिवाय हरिद्रदानं समर्पयामि। सिन्धूरं शोभनं रक्तसौभाग्ये प्रियवर्धनं कामरं मोक्षदं चैव सिन्धूरं प्रतिगृहीतां सिन्धूरं समर्पयामि। ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ काण्डात् काण्डात् पुरोहन्ते पुरुका पुरुषस्परे वानु दुर्वे प्रधानु नाशते न चाहते कोमलदानं समर्पयामि। अबीरं च गुलालं च चौव चन्दनमेव च। ॐ संवत्सरा शिवाय पूजनं प्रीत्यर्थं सङ्कल्पं ममस्तु। ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। Hold your bellies close to your heart, and from your heart tell Lord Shiva, ask him, talk to him, he's listening to you. Om Mayaskra cha Mayubhava cha Chandrasekhara cha Nageshwara cha Rameshwara cha Shivatra cha Samvatsara Shivaya Ekabelvam samarpayami बेलपत्रं समर्पयामि। काशीवासी शिवासिनीं कालभैरव पूजाटं कोटिकन्या महादानं बेलपत्र शिवार्पणम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। बोलो
ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
We offer now the name names. Through the medium of these names, we offer our love to thee, O Bhagavati Mata. You are the Shakti of the entire creation. Amba, Amba, Jai Jagadamba.
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 Amba, जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
काली भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
काली भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
काली भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
काली भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
बोलो शक्ति भवानी जगदम्बे माँ, बोलो शक्ति भवानी जगदम्बे माँ। ओ अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
देवी भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
देवी भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
ओ देवी भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
देवी भवानी जगदम्बे माँ,
बोलो शक्ति भवानी जगदम्बे माँ, बोलो शक्ति भवानी जगदम्बे माँ, अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा,
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 अम्बा अम्बा ओम नमः शिवाय,
अम्बा अम्बा
अम्बा अम्बा ओम नमः शिवाय, अम्बा अम्बा ओम नमः शिवाय, अम्बा अम्बा ओम नमः शिवाय,
अम्बा अम्बा ओम नमः शिवाय,
अम्बे 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 देवी माँ, अम्बे 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 शक्ति माँ, या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता, नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरंतकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। अम्बा अम्बा ओम नमः शिवाय,
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 ओम अम्बे अम्बिके अम्बालिके नमान्यति कश्चन सहस्रभद्रकामपि सुभद्रकामपि लवासिनीं नीमपत्रं समर्पयामि। ॐ नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
शंकर शंकर शंकरा, शंकर
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
शंकरा,
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
बम 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 भोला,
बम 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 भोला,
बम 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 भोला,
बम बम बम
दिमितक दिमितक मृदंग बोला
दिमितक दिमितक मृदंग बोला
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
ओम नमः शिवाय
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 ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
हर 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 महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
निमितक निमितक मृदंग बोला
दिमितक दिमितक मृदंग बोला
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम
सत्यम शिवम
यानि कानि च
सुंदरम
पापानि च मन्तर्जितानि तानि तानि प्रक्षिणा प्रक्षिणा प्रवे प्रवे संवत्सरा शिवाय दीपदानं समर्पयामि ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
हर 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 महादेवा
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 ओम दीपं समर्पयामि दीपदानं प्रदीग्रेतां नैवेद्यं ब्रह्मर्पणं ब्रह्मावे ब्रह्मगनो ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मागतेन गन्ताभ्यं ब्रह्मकर्मा समारिणां शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसर्विशं मेघवर्णं सुभाग्य लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगविज्ञानवन्यं वन्दे विष्णुभावहरणं सर्वलोकैकनाथम् ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
नारायण 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 नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण नारायण नारायण
ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
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 हर बम 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 बोला
हर 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 बम बम बोला
ब्रह्मर्पणं ब्रह्मावे ब्रह्मगनो ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मागतेन घण्टाभ्यं ब्रह्मकर्मा समारिणां नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि संवत्सरा शिवाय ब्रह्मर्पणं ममस्तु कृष्णार्पणम् ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
नासे रोगहर करे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन कर्म वचन ध्यान जो लावे। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाय, जो शत बार पाठ कर होय, दूत वंदे महासुख होय, निस्ते प्रेम प्रतीदिते, विनय करे सनमान, जय के कार्य सकल शुभ सिद्धि करे हनुमान। जय 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 हनुमाना,
जय 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 हनुमाना,
जय 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 श्री रामा,
जय 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 श्री रामा।
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
शंकर शंकर शंकरा,
शंकर शंकर शंकरा।
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम पुंगी पल में आदि वानागबली दलायुक्त ईलान चूर्णाटम तांबूलम प्रतिग्रहीतां, पंचामृत में आदत्त गृहाना पुरुषोत्तमम्। ओम लवंगर्पूर संयुक्तं तांबूलं सुरपूजिते, लवंगर्पूर संयुक्तं तांबूलं प्रतिग्रहीतां, पंचामृत में आदत्त गृहाना पुरुषोत्तमम्, पंचामृत में आदत्त गृहाना परमेश्वर। संवत्सरा शिवाय पंचामृत स्नानं समर्पयामि। हिरण्यागर्भ समर्पिताग्रे भूतस्य जाता पतिरिकयासि, तदाधारं पृथिवीं नमः दक्षिणादानम् अहं करिष्ये। संवत्सरा शिवाय दक्षिणादानं समर्पयामि। ओम नमः शिवाय,
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 ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
Clap your hands with me, everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody, clap your hands.
ओम नमः शिवाय।
Sing with me. Om Namah Shivaya.
ओम नमः शिवाय।
Om Namah Shivaya.
ओम नमः शिवाय।
जय गिरिजापति दीन दयाला, सदा करन संतन प्रतिपालक, बाल चंद्रमा सोहत नीते, कानन कुंडल नाग पनीते, अंग गौर सिर गंग बहाई, कुंडमाल तन चारण लाई, वास्त्र काल भागम पर सोही, सभी को देख नाग मुनि मोहि, मैना मातु हवे दुलावे, वाम अंग सोहत छवि बारी, कर त्रिशूल सोहत छवि बारी, करा शरण शत्रुन संबारी, नंदी गण सोहत हे ऐसे, सागर मंदन कमला जैसे, कार्तिक शाम और गण गेयु, या छवि को का जातन गेयु, देवन जब जय ही पुकारा, तब ही दुख प्रभु आप निवारा, किया उपवन तारक का भारी, देवन सब मिल तुम ही जुहारी। ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
सुरसंदन आप पतायो, लव में स्नेही मार न गाय, आप जलंधर असुर संहारे, सुर सा तुम वेदित संबारे, पुरासुर युद्धि मचाए, जैन कृपा कर ली बचाए, तप्पिन भागीरथ बारी, भय प्रकन ही तासु पुकार, दिन मात तूरन कोई, सेवक स्तुति करन सन होय, वेद नाम में मात बगावे, एक नाथ वेदी नहीं पावे, पर गए में मातु ज्वाला, जय सुर में जय बिहाला, देताई की तारे, मैं नाथ बही मनकारी, राजा रामचंद्र जब कीनो जेत लंका विभीषण देहु रस कमल श्री पूजत धारी यह प्रतीक्ष सम्मेहि पुकारी देख कमल प्रभु करा को जो ही कमल पूरन चाहु अतिन भक्त देखि प्रभु शंकर भय प्रसन्न दीजे इतन तव जय 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 अनंत विनाशी करत कृपा सबकी गतबासी दुष्ट गलन दुष्ट सकल नित मोहि सतावे ब्रह्मारत मोहि नहीं पावे ओम नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय
ओम 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 नमः शिवाय
त्राहि त्राहि नाथ पुकारो यह अववस मुहि देहि उबारो त्रिशूल शत्रु न को मारो संकट मोहि नहीं उबारो माता पिता भ्राता सब कोई संकट में पूजत नहीं कोई स्वामी का आस तुम्हारी हरुण हम संकट बारी धन नरिद्र दो देहि सताई जोगे वचन सुफल कह पाई अस्तुति की विदित कराई शंभुनाथ जोगी कह माई शंकर हो संकट के नाशन विघ्न विनाशन मंगलकार जोगे जात मुनि नहीं लावे शारद नारद शीश सुनावे नमो नमो जय नमः शिवाय सुर ब्रह्मादिक पार न पाय जो यह पाठ मरे मन लाए कपि न होत शंभु ही सुताय रे न हो जोगी अंधिकार पाठ करे सो पावत हारी पुत्र कर होय निश्चर शिव प्रसाद न होय पंडित त्रयोदशी को लावे नानक पूर्वक होम करावे त्रयोदशी व्रत हमेशा तन नहीं दे कर कहीं अकेशा धूप दीप नैवेद्य चरावे शंकर सन्मुख पाठ सुनावे जन्म जन्म की पाप निशावे अंत वस्त्र शिवा में पावे कात अयोध्या आस तुम्हारी चल सकल दुख हरहि पुकारी ओम नमः शिवाय
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 नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगराकाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
शिवाय गौरी वरुणाथ वृंदा सूर्याय दक्षात् वर्णाशिकाय नीलकंठाय वृषध्वजाय तस्मै श्रीकाराय नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
मंदाकिनी सलिल चंदन चरिचिता नंदीश्वरम नमदनाथ महेश्वरा मंदार पुष्प बहु पुष्प सुपूजिता तस्मै मकारा नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
वशिष्ठ कुंभो भवगौतमार्या मुनीन्द्र देवा चितशेखराय चंद्राक वैष्णव लोचनटाय तस्मै वकाराय नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
ओम नमः शिवाय
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 Om Namah Shivaya.
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 यक्षस्वरूपाय चत्तारराय पिण्डाहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगंबराय तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय.
Om Namah Shivaya.
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 नमो नमो दुर्गे सुखकरणी नमो नमो अम्बे दुःखहरणी निरंकारये ज्योति तुम्हारी त्रिभुलोक पेली उजियारी कशिललाट मुख महाविशाल नीचलाल मृगुति विकराल रूप माटी को अतिक सुतावे दर्श करन जन अति सुख पावे तुम संसार शक्ति लय कीना पालन हेतु अन्न धन दीना अन्नपूर्ण होई जगपाल तुम आदि सुंदरी बाल परे काल में सन्नासारी तुम गौरी शिव शंकर प्यारी शिव योगी तुमरे गुण गावे ब्रह्मा विष्णु तुम्हें नित जावे रूप सरस्वती का तुम्हारा देश बुद्ध ऋषि मुनियो पारा करे रूप नर सिंह को अम्बा प्रगट भई पर कीन विकम्बा रक्षा कर प्रहलाद बचायो हिरण्याक्ष को स्वर पचतायो लक्ष्मी रूप धरो जग माही श्री नारायण अंग समानी तीर सिंधु में करत विलासा दया सिंधु दीजे मनासा पिंगलाज में तुमहि भवानी महिमा अमितन जाट बकानी. ओम नमः शिवाय.
Om Namah Shivaya.
ओम नमः शिवाय.
Om Namah Shivaya.
मातंगी भूमावती माता भुवनेश्वरी भगला सुखदाता श्री वेदवतारा जगतारी चिन्ह भवे वर दुख निवार हे हरिवाहन सोहि भवानी रंगुर वीर चलत विमानी कर में कप्पर करत विलाजी राकुटिक कातर ये बाजी सोमे अस्त्र ये त्रिशूला जाते उतर शस्त्र विशूला नागकोट में तुम ही विराजत त्रिभुलोक में डंका बाज शुंभ निशुंभ दान तुम मारी रक्त बीज संतन संबारी महिषासुर नीरत अभिमानी जय अंकार में ही अनुकाली रूप काली को काली उदारा सेन सहित तुम ही संबारा परे कर संतन पर जब जब शक्ति माँ तुम हो तब तब अन्नपूर्ण और बसहु लोका तब महिमा सब रही अशोका बाल में हे ज्योति तुम्हारी तुम शरण पूजत नर नारी प्रेम भक्ति से जो नर गावे दुख दरिद्र निकट नहीं आवे दानव तुम जो नर मन राय जन्म मरण तो की चुर जाय जोगी सुर मुनि कहत पुकार जोगन गोविन शक्ति तुम्हारा शंकर आचारा तप कीनु काम क्रोध जीते सबलीनु. ओम नमः शिवाय.
Om Namah Shivaya.
ओम नमः शिवाय.
Om Namah Shivaya.
ओम नमः शिवाय.
Om Namah Shivaya.
शंकर को कहो काल नहीं सुमिरो तुमको शक्ति रूप को मरण न पायो शक्ति गई तब मन पछतायो शरणागत हुई कीर की बकानी जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी भय प्रसन्न आरी जगदम्बा जय शक्ति नहीं कीन विकम्बा ऊट माटू कष्ट तिकेरु तुम बिन कौन हरे दुख मेरो आशा कृष्णा निपट सतावे त्रिभु मोर गति तर पावे शत्रुनाश की जय महारानी सुमिरो एक चित तुम ही भवानी करहु कृपा हे मातु दयाला रिद्धि सिद्धि रे कर निराला जब लग जियो दया पर पाओ तुम बिन आस में सदन सुनाओ देवी चालीसा जो कोई गावे सब सुख भोग परम पर पावे को शरण शरण नित जाय करहु कृपा जगदम्बा भवानी ओम नमः शिवाय
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 शंकर शंकर शंकरा
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
शंकर शंकर शंकरा
ओम नमः शिवाय
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 नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
हरवम हरवम बम बम बोला
हर बम बम बोला
हरवम हरवम बम बम बोला
हर बम बम बोला
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत तुलित बलराम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नाम महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल हाथ बजो त्वचा विराजे कामी मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप दर्शिया दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जलावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सनारी रामचंद्र के काज सवारी लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्ष उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बराए तुम मम प्रिय भरत समाए सब नन तुम रोग सगावे अस कै श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद शारद सहित अहिसा यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जाते कवि कोविद कै सके गाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीना राम मिलाय राज पर दीना तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर वे सब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लीलोताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मिल मुख माई तन विलाज गए अजरज नाई दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे ओट न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण तुम रक्षत काहू को डरना आपन तेज समालो आपे तीन लोक में हाथ टिकावे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन कर्म वचन ध्यान जो लावे जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करौ गुरुदेव की नाय दोष निवार पाठ करोई हृदय वंदे मासु कहो गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेला श्री जय नाथ जय मारेरा पवन तनय संकट हरणम मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभो पवन तनय संकट हरणम मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभो पवन तनय संकट हरणम मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभो पवन तनय संकट हरणम मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभो पवन तनय संकट हरणम मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभो ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
मगर बम मगर बम 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 मगर बम मगर बम मगर बम 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 मगर बम मगर बम मगर बम बम बम
अगर बम मगर बम मगर बम बम
अगर बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
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 बजावे डमरू 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 बजावे डमरू शिवा बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
शिवा बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
शिवा बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
शिवा बम 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 भोला बजावे डमरू
It is believed, according to scripture, that on this night of Shivaraatri, it is not only the celebration of celebrating Lord Shiva saving us by drinking that poison, but it is believed, according to the Shiva Maharaj, it is that night when Lord Shiva gets married. When there is a wedding, what is the emotions like? How do you feel? How do you feel when there is a wedding? You're already dressed up nice, huh? When you're going to the yajna and you're going to the puja and you're going to the places of worship, you must dress up in your finery. However, when you're going to a wedding, it is not your place to wear red. Red is the color for the... You had your time and you will have your time. Don't try to outshine anybody. The bride has to wear a particular color. You all know that? So you dress accordingly. You're going to the reception and the wedding dress is what color? What color is the wedding dress? Oh. So you don't wear white because it's the bride's day to shine. You know that? Well, Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, when they became married, you know what happened? The alliance, the wedding plan was made because Kamadev, the god of love, shot an arrow through the of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva opened his eyes out of meditation in time to see when the arrow was shot. I asked a few nights ago, ever walk into a room when people talking and all of a sudden they stop and you could swear the conversation was about you? But chances are they weren't talking about you. Yeah, they weren't talking about you, anything good. That's what it was. They weren't talking about you and saying anything good about you. So then when you walk in, they have to stop. Because if they were having a good, positive conversation, then it could continue. Isn't it? So they weren't talking about you, anything good. You just didn't finish the... You see, Swami, you came with an intention. You could sit down right there. Sit right there. Yeah. That's your karma you're paying, you know. That's a docking me all night. Parvati, she is born in a home of two beings, Himavant and Maina. Of all the names we spoke about tonight, Can you remember those names? Himavant and Maina, mother and father of Mother Parvati. Parvati is in love with Lord Shiva, and she has never seen Lord Shiva. Is it possible to love somebody you have never seen? Baba, we love you, but we never saw you. You know what we love about you? We love your voice. You fall in love with the voice. And you fall in love with different things. Different things that you can associate a person. I remember, till today, there are many people when they meet you, before there was the big television thing and it was just the radio, when people saw you, one lady came up to me and she said, you is really Pundit Sunil? And I said, yes, why? She said, well, your looks don't match your voice. Because that voice is supposed to have some kind of handsome fella behind it. I never visualized you so. And in my mind, I'm thinking about how should I react to this? How can I react to something like this? Ever spoke to somebody on the phone and the voice sounds like somebody quiet and small, and when you go you meet a Hulk, a gigantic person? Maina and Himavant, they're worried because Parvati, she wants to get married to Shiva. She has voiced this. And so they're making preparations. The wedding date is set and they're making preparations. What kind of vehicle will you want your son to go to the home of his Dulahin with? What kind of vehicle? You have 3 daughters. When the boys have to come to take them, because you know they will come. What kind of vehicle you'll want the boy to come with? Dave said, Das is class. Dave, when you make a daughter is not yours, you know. Do you know that? So you need to program your mind from now. Don't wait. Program your mind from now. A son, actually a daughter is a daughter for life, and a son is a son until wife. You ever hear that? Lord Shiva, all the devatas, they're dressed in their nice clothes, and all the devatas, you know what happened? Lord Shiva sits on Nandi, the bull. The bull is the vehicle. The wedding car is the bull. And Lord Shiva is not sitting facing forward, you know. He's sitting facing backward. And when Nandi brings Lord Shiva to the home of Maina, and she goes outside with the thali to welcome the Dulaha. You know how they do it? Huh? You ever see? When she goes and she sees this Shiva, she faint away and fall to the ground because she can't believe that this is who her daughter is going to get married to. And the description is, listen to what the description is. Huh? He's wearing a loin cloth around his waist. His body is smeared with ashes. He's wearing a snake as his mala and a mala of skulls around his neck. And to boot, he's facing backwards, not forward. Your daughter bring home somebody looking like that. What will you do? What will you do? I find you're not answering. All night nobody is answering. Maybe we should have had the Palmis crew here, you know. She said we will say Om Namah Shivaya. You wouldn't say that, I'm sure. I'm sure not. I know you will say something, but it's not that. And when you're in the puja, don't lie. Eh? Tell the truth. Omati, what will you have done? What is she saying? She said, Narayan, Narayan. May not faint away and fall to the ground, and all the devatas around, they now look at Lord Shiva and they say, Lord Shiva, today is a festive day. Today is your wedding. Why don't you change your appearance and look more presentable? Do you know there's some people, they have a big function at home, and all the guests come and they're still walking with their short pants and their vests all over the place and modeling? Why are you watching Dave like that? And all over walking and modeling, short pants with a big hole in it. And a rubber slippers and dragging. And to boot is 2 rubber slippers, one from a different pair slipper and another from another pair. And the wife say, hey, everybody coming and you looking like the bagman's son. They go call you Bhagirat. That's how you dress up. And so, they prayed to Lord Shiva and asked him, Lord Shiva, change your appearance. And Lord Shiva was dressed in a beautiful apparel. And when Meena got up from her faint, she woke up from her faint. And she saw Lord Shiva. It was not the same being she had seen before. You ever see somebody faint before? And they get up to say something and faint back again? You ever see that? You ever see somebody bawling and crying and they stop to drink some water and then start to cry again? You ever see that? You ever see somebody crying and rolling and then they stop to tell somebody something and start back to cry? You ever seen that before? I should carry you all to some funerals. You'll be shocked to see what you see. Lord Shiva, having this divine disposition now, very presentable. Lord Shiva comes off Nandi and he gets married to Mother Parvati. But becoming married to Mother Parvati, they go back to Mount Kailash. They inhabit Mount Kailash as their home. Mother Parvati has a query. She puts her hands together now and she's telling Lord Shiva, what's the first conversation you had with your wife when you went home after the marriage? Oh God, don't answer. What's the first conversation you had with each other? Don't answer, I'm just asking. Mother Parvati puts her hands together and listen to what she's telling Lord Shiva. Hey Jagat Pitar Bhagavan, हमें तो ज्ञान तो ईश्वर प्यारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा.
हे जगत पिता भगवान, हमें दो ज्ञान तो ईश्वर प्यारा, दुनिया में एक सहारा.
She's saying, Shiva, you are Jagatapita, the father of the entire creation. Everybody looks up to you. But Lord Shiva, how come you live on a mountain top? How come? If you are the father of the entire creation, it means that you have created everything. Then why are you not living in a kingdom? Why are you not living in a mahal, in a palace? And Lord Shiva looks at Mother Parvati and smiles. He says, so what is this? This is my palace. This is my kingdom. This is my home. Anywhere you live, whether how it looks, and whether what anybody's opinion of it is, that is your palace. Do you know that? I remember, as a child growing up, I grew up in a board house. Have you ever had the privilege of growing up in a board house? Not a boring house, you know. One made with board. But in that board house, there was never a boring moment. Because there was always something exciting happening in there. Do you know? And in the board house, you didn't have nowhere to hide. Because even though you go to hide, you could peep through any crease and see each other. You all know that? The step was board, the floor was board, the walls were board, the partitions were board, the roof, The only thing there was metal was the galvanized, even board. But never a boring moment in that board house. Think about it. Downstairs, we didn't have a couch to recline. Now you have a chair, you sit down in it and you press the button. And you know what happened? You're going back. You press it and you come back up. Some people have a button, they press it too and they carry them by the neighbor. Press it and they carry them up the step and press it and they come down the step. You know? It's 2022. Everything is possible. You know? Recently I go to do the puja. Nobody wants to go. So it's last week Sunday. And I go to do the puja. It's a birthday puja. And when I go to Swami doesn't want to go. Nobody wants to go with me to the puja. So I'm going alone. And when I go to the puja, I'm seeing this young boy on this mobile wheelchair. You know they have the one that operates with it. So he drive it up the hill and he comes and he sits. And I say, so since when you sick and you have to sit down in this chair? He said, me is sick. This is my grandfather's chair, but I just didn't want to walk up the hill, so I take a ride. And I'm looking at him and I say, but you take a ride on a wheelchair? He said, because he said, Pundit, you can't be foolish. You have to work smart, not hard. That's one of the mottos of the Ganeshotsav Foundation. Work smart, not hard. He said, you think I really want to walk up the hill? I take a ride. And I said to him, I said, do you know by doing that you're calling sickness on yourself? Do you know by doing that you're cursing your own self? He said, well, here now, if something had to happen to me, it would have happened a long time. I just take this thing and go riding every evening. I just take a spin. Imagine, your life is so boring, you taking a spin with a wheelchair. That's what you do for fun. And to boot your grandfather wheelchair. The poor man can't walk. So if the man is depending on that chair to do something for himself, you taking a ride. He have to wait till you come back from your ride to go to the washroom and to think about it. We live in a crazy world, you know. You know? A very crazy world. She's saying, Lord Shiva, we should have some kind of luxury and some kind of comfort. Why do we have to live on a mountain top? And Lord Shiva says, well, we'll try to fix that. He calls out to who? Vishwakarma. Have you ever heard that name before? Have you ever heard that name before, boys? Vishwakarma? Vishwakarma is the architect of the entire creation. And so Vishwakarma now has to design a mahal, a palace for Lord Shiva to live. Vishwakarma chooses the best material. Because this palace has to be a beautiful kingdom. And so it has to be a very glamorous kingdom because the God of the entire universe is going to live there. And so he uses sona. What is sona? Gold. He makes the palace from top to bottom with gold. And Mother Parvati says to Lord Shiva, he says, Lord Shiva, now that we have the kingdom, I don't want to go in there until you bless the kingdom. We must bless the kingdom. Even God is saying to bless. Have you ever heard that word bless before? Tonight I want to tell you, every religion and every scripture says, who God bless, no man shall. Who God blesses, no man shall. I'm not hearing you. Who God bless, no man can. The Alaskan saying curse. You hearing her? She's saying it with an accent. Who God bless, no man curse. And so, they now have to find a Brahmana, a noble man, a good man to bless the kingdom. The Pundit comes into your home and come into your life and everything flourish, you know. And some next man come into your house and profess to be this holy man, and you know what happened? Take away everything, you know. Your light and your happiness and your everything. one day one night we were doing the yajna in Soho, and I never forget this. Live television and live radio and the whole halabaloo. And a drunk man comes by the door. Isn't true, you remember? And the drunk man opened the door and stand up in the middle of the corridor. He said, "Hey, Baba, I want to ask you something." So I stop. Everything stops. Drunk, could hardly stand up. He said, "I want to know if you like my Baba." I said, "What? Who is your Baba?" In my mind, I'm asking, not on the mic, I'm not. He said, "Well, my Baba is not a Baba, he's a grabber. You like that?" And in my mind, I'm saying, will the Singhasan open and I fall through? Or what is going to happen here? A Baba, a Pundit, a holy man, is supposed to be a divine being with a certain amount of ethics and morals and values, a certain amount. With a balanced mind and a sound thinking and always willing to pacify some situation and always trying to give although he doesn't have, and that's how he's supposed to be. That's how his nature is supposed to be. They want to find somebody like that, and you know who they find? Of all the beings to find, Sintra, you know who they find? Ravana. They have found Ravana to bless the kingdom. Ravana blesses the kingdom, and as he's about to leave, Lord Shiva says, "Well, tell me what kind of dakshina you want for blessing the kingdom." Do you think it will be a reasonable or unreasonable dakshina he's going to request? He says, you want to pay me? Give me the whole kingdom. I want the kingdom. And that's how Ravana ended up with a golden kingdom. Because that kingdom was not made for him. It was made for Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. And that's how he ended up being this king of this place called Lanka, golden city. That's how he ended up with that. Imagine, build a brand new house. And the Pundit comes to bless it and you say, "Tell me, Papa, anything you want, I'll give it to you." And he said, "Well, give me the house now." What you could do? What you will say? They say it's from the lip of the Pundit to the ears of Bhagwan. You ever hear that before? Jackie and I blessing the Prado, the brand new Prado, and I'm walking around the Prado and I say, "God bless me to have one of these. Om Namah Shivaya. God, I wish I could have a Prado too. Om Namah Shivaya." And I'm walking around the Prado and blessing the Prado. And I said, "God, I'm blessing this Prado, but bless me too so I could have one just like this. Om Namah Shivaya. It don't belong to be this color, God. It could be any color. I just want one that's like this. Om Namah Shivaya. God, and it doesn't have to be gas. It could be diesel. Om Namah Shivaya. And God bless me so that I could have the Prado. And oh God, it must have the extra seat in the back so that I could carry plenty people. Om Namah Shivaya." And when I'm done blessing the van, Chiki looks at me. She says, "You feel me here, yeah?" I say, "What did you hear?" She said, "I hear you say you want Prado and you're walking around the Prado and saying the press, 'God bless me with a Prado.'" I said, "So what you were saying when I was saying that?" She said, "Well, I was saying, 'God bless me too,' yes. I write here. I write here too, 'God bless me' and all. People giving the Baba, give me one too. Om Namah Shivaya." That's the truth. When I sit here, I only tell you the truth. Nothing but the truth. And do you know God heard that prayer? Because it was a genuine prayer. It was me selflessly saying to Bhagwan, "Bless me." And if I could ask for something like that and God could bless me, then think about what God could do for you. If you ask selflessly, with purity in your heart, then God will bless you with anything that you want. Anything that you want, God will give it to you. But you have to be sincere about it. Parvati Devi, she has no problem. They give the kingdom to Ravana. But now they encounter the next problem. Parvati Devi, after the Viva, after the wedding, now she's observing Lord Shiva. And observing Lord Shiva, she sees that he has this mala as skulls. And now she's asking Lord Shiva, what is that mala about with all of these skulls? And Lord Shiva says, well, I can't tell you. You ever ask somebody something and they say, well, I can't tell you? I can't tell you now, I will tell you later. Huh? She wants to know. She looks at Lord Shiva, and what is he about to say? Listen. Hara 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 Mahare Shiva Hara 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 Mahare Hara 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 Hara. Sing with me. Hara 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 Mahare. Everybody sing with me. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. I can't hear the people in Pali's part. Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Hara 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 Mahadev. Om Hara Hara Hara. Lord Shiva is telling the Devi, he says every skull you're seeing here on this mala is a token of memory. Token of memory. What if I had to wear a mala of skull for every person I cremated and I did their funeral for? What will happen? And to keep that as a token of memory, what will happen? In the glove compartment of the car, the van, Swami was digging one day. Not sure what he was looking for, but I was in the van. And he pulled out a death certificate. He said, who died here? And looking at it, he said, oh. And looking at the name, he's trying to put a name to and a face to the name he's seeing on it. He said, who is this? He said, well, me have to worry too much. No, it's not my name and it's not your name. It's somebody else's name. So I'm not worried too much. And you know, he says some of the craziest things, huh? So he continues doing whatever he's doing and then he goes back to the death certificate. So we keeping it or what are we doing with this? Who would this belong to? And then I say, well, you know, that's my uncle that died. He said, oh, right. I should have watched your name and remember. When we leave here, I'm not talking about this home, I'm talking about when we leave here. What other than our name on a certificate of death we'll be leaving behind? What kind of token we'll be leaving behind? A token that will be remembered for. What are we leaving behind? I said to Dave, Dave, right now they're putting up the steel. But you see, when the galvanized is ready to go up, I want you and your workers to go there and put that galvanized on that roof. And Dave said, well, when that time comes, we go see. That's what he said about everything anyway. He said, when that time comes, we go see what will happen. But do you know, by doing those things, you're leaving your fingerprint? You're leaving a legacy behind. You're erasing some of your karma. By every or anything that you do, you're erasing some of your karma. From time to time, I put on the group chat, we need to go to the temple to do some cleanup. We need to clean the yard. I say I will come, and God forgive me, I never went. But the cleanup always happened, huh? Because you see, God took His time and chose the people in the group. They're the people who really genuinely do nothing. Don't even attend. But they're people who go beyond the call. You see that fella called Deunarain Persad? Like God take his hand and his 2 foot and make him. Because there isn't a single thing that we will call on him to do, any one of us in this group, and he will not leave what he's doing and come to our aid, including me. And sometimes we are very unreasonable with our request, but he never reacts that way. He accepts whatever we request and he tries to make us happy. You see that man called Niranjan Maharaj? You ever hear that name before? Niranjan Maharaj? I don't know, like God blessed him with some kind of special vardhan, some kind of special gift. I want to tell you, he's married to my mother's sister. And you see, when he got married, I really didn't like him too much, I'm telling you the truth. Because I really didn't like her too much either. But with time and with age, she has become my best friend. She's not my aunt, She's my best friend. And you see him? I love him more than I love her. Because there isn't a thing that I will call him and ask him to do too, and he will ever say no. He will never tell me. I call him and I say, do this. He say, I'm not going in the bathroom, but give me 5 minutes. Everything for him is 5 minutes, But it is done. It is done. Of all the people in the world that I could trust to give a key to the house, and I gave him. Until one day I have to tell him, I say, hey boy, when you come in, ring the bell first before you open the gate. And he say, why? I say, you want me to get a heart attack? I'm not expecting anybody. But God took his time and made him. Isn't that true? Because he will do that not only for me, for anybody, for everybody. You see that man called Nigel Persad? Well, I don't even know what to say. I have no clue what to say. There are no words for me to use. Because actually, you don't have to call. He doesn't say, find me where I am, He say, here I am. He presents himself, here I am. You see the wife? The most tolerant person I've ever met in my whole life. You know who she's? Not him, no. Me. She tolerates me. You know how much times I call her name and things that don't concern her? I tell everybody she plan everything and she don't know a single thing. Nothing she don't know. One day she came to me and she said, hey, you must give my little heads up so when people come to ask me, I will know what to say. She planned Satyanarayana Katha by Cheryl House. She didn't even know she planned it. She put the date too. She planned everything. I say the president say we will have Satyanarayana Katha every month, and the president say, and the president say, and the president say. I can't go to call all the names in the group, But you see another person who God took his time and make. See that lady called Shobha and Judy? They would turn down any pot on anybody and anything, you know that? Anything and anybody, and they came here with the intention tonight to stay for the first prahar and run away and leave me. But if there's one good thing with them, they listen to me, They always listen. They always listen. And there are many people who try to poison their mind, and many people tried. But thank God they're brilliant enough to allow those people to fail and not deter them from the pathway of bhakti devotion. One of the persons I love plenty too, but he real stubborn, Papa Malu, you know about him? I love him plenty, but he little stubborn. I just have to move him up all the time. I say, Papa, I want you to come tonight and spend the night with me. She said, oh God, Pundit, I had to offer my prayers home first before I come. I just wake whole night in the temple and I just offer the bay leaf. And I say, Papa, you need to come here. Lord Shiva say, come here. You know who else like that? Dave. Dave tell me the same thing, and in my mind I say, Lord, Lord Shiva here, Lord Shiva home, Lord Shiva in the sky, Lord Shiva is the same Lord Shiva. So if you offer the dar here and you offer the dar home and you offer the dar wherever you offer the dar, Lord Shiva will still get the dar. But me feel good if me offer it in my house. I want to offer it in my house, in my lingam. It have nothing like your lingam and my lingam. It is the Shiva lingam. Hello? It is called a Shiva lingam. It's not Malu lingam and Dev lingam and Nigel lingam. It's Shiva lingam. It is the Shiva lingam. And the Shiva lingam is an emblem of Lord Shiva. And whether where in the world you offer to the Shiva lingam, you get the maximum blessing because Lord Shiva accepts whatever is being offered. Do you believe that? Did you just hear what I said? Dave said, we finished a little early now so I could go home and do my puja in my lingam. And in my mind, I want to know if he made a murti of himself and put it over by the Jhandi, the Dev lingam. Then it wouldn't be Jyotir lingam again. It would be Tritiyam lingam. They have 13, not 12. You know somebody who really stood out to me in all of this? See that lady called Oma and her husband Anil? In the night when we're tired and we're leaving, they're still mopping and cleaning. You see how they operate? They shocked me. They really impressed me. In a good way. On the first night, I called Cindy and I said, Cindy, you'll make the Persad? She said, you make it today now. But I had in my mind already, I'll go for an exercise, a walk. So I had planned to go for the walk and then come back in time to make the Persad and then come to do the puja. But then the rain started to fall and I had to shelter on that tree. And I had to wait. So I called Auntie Angie and I said, Auntie Angie, come, make the Persad. I come home, Auntie Angie is there. The 2 pot already on the stove, park boiling, and the pot for the ghee. I go upstairs and I shower and I come back downstairs. And Auntie Angie ain't throw the cream of wheat in the pot yet. She says she's waiting for the pot to hot. She now throw the cream of wheat, she throw it. I say, Auntie Angie, come, let me show you how to make this thing quick. She's saying, Papa, throw the ghee. And they throw the ghee and they put the cream of wheat and they turn it up maybe three times, if so much. I say, Auntie Angie, it done patch? She said, but we now throw it. I said, well, let me show you how to make no for no Persad. You ever hear about that? We're making a no for no Persad. And I throw the whole inside of the Persad. And throwing the whole pot of pag inside of there. Auntie Angie saying, when it come out not good, says you, eh? When it don't come out good, says you. Do you know the now for now Persad tastes better than all the Persad we eat? In all the days? Anything now for now turns out to be nice, you know. The Palmese Park preparation was now for now. They go there and they get hooked. They don't want to come by us. Huh? Anything now for now is appetizing, it nice. You ever cook something now for now, quick? Huh? Tonight, Mother Parvati is saying, tell me about these skulls. And Lord Shiva says, well, I can't tell you. She said, well, I want to know. Tonight, I want every member of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation to know that you are special. And I love you. I don't take the time often to say thank you. I don't take the time often to eulogize you. I don't take the time enough to let you know that you are loved and you are appreciated, and I acknowledge that. I sometimes buff you up, and I sometimes look at you hard, and I sometimes tell you the things you don't want to hear, and I sometimes become the critic. But it's not because I don't like you. It is not because I'm attacking you, but it's because I want what is in the best interest of the entire group. If you put yourself in my position, you'll see how difficult it is. Everybody is unique and everybody is different. Everybody's family is different. Everybody's upbringing was different. Everybody's likes and dislikes are different. And so I have to be able to adjust myself to suit everybody's I was saying to the president of the UAE Hindu Society, I say, imagine you see all these people here. I could tell you their name and I could tell you where they live in and I could tell you 90% of them, I could tell you their phone number by heart. He looked at me, he said, "You're real good." I said, "No, them real bad. Because if I can't remember, I could be in trouble." Mother Parvati says, "Tell me about these calls." And Lord Shiva says, every one of these calls, they belong to you. And in every one of your previous births, when you manifested and you died, I kept your skull as a remembrance. When you die, if somebody has to keep something for remembrance, what will you want them to keep? Embalm me and put me in a glass case and put me in the house. Put me right where you could see me all the time. Come and stand up and talk to me and thing. But hope me answer you back, because then they will have to put you in a glass case right next to me too. What kind of token would you want somebody to remember you by? President? Vice President? Swami? What you want to be remembered by? A bus? What? Sharon, what do you want to be remembered by? Tabla? So we her name is Shabla? What do you want to be remembered by? Till today, when you're going down by the creek and you're hearing, you know what you hear? O tolakan lal priya bhai. That Pundit sang that recording and died. And every day you will hear that thing playing. Because my house is almost to the creek. And I hear that thing every day diligently. He died, but he left behind a recording of his voice that lives on. And every time you hear the recording, you remember him. I never even know what he looks like. I have no clue where he lived. I have no clue of nothing. And then one day, I said in my mind, a little prayer when I heard, I said, God, this Pundit died, and he's remembered by his voice, and one day I will die. May I too be remembered by something and leave behind a legacy just like him. And do you know, when I went home, the son of that Pundit called me and said, I have my father's Ramayana, I want to give you it as a gift. Can you imagine that? The very same day. Can you imagine that? And gave me it as a gift. Whatever you throw out into the universe, it has a unique way of bringing it back to you. Do you believe that? And so, Mother Parvati begins to cry. You mean I died all these times? So is it that I'm going to die this time too? And Lord Shiva says, you were born in the womb of an earthly mother and an earthly father. And what happens on the earth is that when there is birth, there will be. And death finds any excuse. When the exploration time comes, death finds any excuse. Or maybe I should say every excuse to come. So when Sati Devi had to sit in the fire, it is because the exploration date came. It is because the Leela was unfolding. And in the Devi Bhagavad, it gives an elaborate explanation as to why that had to happen. She didn't commit suicide. It didn't say that in the book. It says that the time came to an end when she had to give up that manifestation so that she will take the manifestation of Parvati. So that the Leela of Parvati will unfold. So that a katha called the Amar Katha will now be given. Have you ever heard of the Amar Katha? The Amar Katha is the katha that when you listen to it, it gives you immortality. You live infinitely. I know what you're thinking, Dave. we should do Amar Yagya. I know, I could see it in your face. Dave got up, He woke up when he heard that there's something that could... The Amar Katha. The Katha that will make you immortal. But tonight I want to tell you, the Katha is saying that you can't be immortal. Maybe not physically, but by leaving behind a legacy that lives on long after you. And that's what makes you immortal. And so Lord Shiva, we know what happens. He narrates the Amar Katha to Mother Parvati, and he narrates the Katha in a cave. And after he has narrated the Katha, Mother Parvati, she has now been blessed with immortality, and she goes on Mount Kailash, and as years passes, the bird comes, and the bird begins to tell the Katha. Why? Because the bird was in the egg, and so in the cave, the bird listened and absorbed everything that Lord Shiva was saying. That's why there is the proverb that says, learning begins in the womb and learning ends in the tomb. Have you ever heard that? Learning begins in the womb and learning ends in the tomb. Because every day of your life, once you're conceived, is a learning day. And the Garuda talks about what the experience of the womb is like. Did we ever read that? Did we ever read that? What the experience of the womb is like? Well, we are having a Bhagavad this year. And in the Bhagavad Katha, the very beginning of the Bhagavad Katha, when it talks about the birth of Raja Parikshit, it talks about what his experience was like in the womb. And so we'll be hearing about what the experience in the womb is like. Can you remember anything when you were in your mother's womb? Baba, I could hardly remember what I ate for breakfast. Is there memory in the womb? All of those things we'll listen to in the Bhagavad Katha. Tonight, the bird begins to tell the Katha. And when the bird begins to tell the Katha, Lord Shiva has to stop this bird from telling. But Lord Shiva can't mute the bird. So you know what he says? He says, you'll tell the Katha, but it will sound so muffled and stuffled that though they're hearing it, they wouldn't know what you're saying. You ever hear the parrot this talk? Having a good conversation, and then all of a sudden you lost the words. You don't know what the parrot's saying. The words twist up and tie up and talk in maybe parrot language. Maybe only other parrots could understand that. What is the definition of a parrot? You're talking like a... You mean I'm a parrot? But I don't understand parrot language. So clearly I'm not. And so, the parrot is muted. And the parrot can't tell the Katha. Now, before we do our Havan, we have now reached the 5 o'clock junction. Before we do our Havan, we must offer the Belva leaves to the Lingam. Can I have all of those Belva leaves? I'm going to ask Paki and Tara Maharaj to come. I'm going to ask Mama Lina and Papa Malu to come. And so we are all going to offer on the Lingam. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So, can we have the more Belva leaves? Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah
Come, Papa.
Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah 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 Shivaya, Hari Om Namah
Ravi,
Shivaya.
you will take a bag and Swami will take a bag and come on this side. Both of you kneel down there so that you wouldn't block the camera and you'll offer. Everybody, I'm going to sing. I'm going to chant. Actually, they're going to sing and they're going to chant. I'm going to chant the mantra. Trambakam Yajami. And so collectively we do this. If you could kneel down, it is better. The ladies could remain standing. Let the gents go down. And so let's offer on the lingam. आओ बैठो जपो हरि नाम शिवाजी की मंदिर में त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिवावन्दनात् मृत्योर्मोक्षमामृतात् 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 शांति। ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Hari Om, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat, 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 Hari Om, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om, 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 Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat,
शिव हरि ओम।
परब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम।
परवेशो शिव हरि ओम।
परमेष्टो शिव हरि ओम।
परब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम।
परब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम।
परवेशो शिव हरि ओम।
परमेष्टो शिव हरि ओम।
हरि ओम जय शिव 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 ओम।
ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि
ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला हे राधे गोविंद गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय राधे गोविंद गोपाला।
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा।
कृष्ण मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्ण।
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा।
कृष्ण मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्ण।
गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
बोलो गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
बोलो गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
बोलो गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय राधे गोविंद गोपाला।
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा।
कृष्ण मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्ण।
कृष्णा मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्णा।
कृष्ण मधुसूदना मधुसूदना कृष्ण।
गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
बोलो गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
बोलो गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
बोलो गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय गोविंद राधे गोपाला।
राधे गोविंद गोपाला जय राधे गोविंद गोपाला।
गोपाल राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल।
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 गोविंद गोविंद 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 गोपाल राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल।
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 शंभु शंकर रेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा।
शंभु शंकर रेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा। भोले बाबा महादेवा
पाहि प्रभु शरणं देवा
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 भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
पाहि प्रभु शरणं देवा
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 भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले
भोले
बाबा महादेवा
बाबा महादेवा
पाहि प्रभु शरणं देवा
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 भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
शंभो शंकर देवा
भोले बाबा महादेवा
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 We're about to do our final Havan. I'm going to ask Auntie Kusum to come quickly as she will do the Havan. Swami will fix the fire. And so we prepare to pour the oblations of love into this sacred fire. As we pray to Bhagwan Shankar, Lord Shiva, may you be pleased with us. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Wait for the water around the fire. Sarva paparam devam gangyam nirmalam jalam achprimyatatta griyana parameshwara achpanam samarpyami sammasara shivaya achpanam samarpyami. I asked in one of our previous kathas, I asked, who is Agani Devata manifestation of? Can you remember that? It says, Namaste astu Bhagwan Visheshwaraya Trambaka Tripurantaka Trikagni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilakanta Mrityunjaya Sarveshwaraya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. Who is he? A manifestation of? I don't know. I just told you. We offer the pieces of wood into the fire. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatridam Namama. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Prachoryat Idam Gatridam Namama. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Prachoryat Idam Gatridam Namama. We pour ghee into the fire. Om Sri Prajapatai Namah. Om Indra Namah. Om Agani Namah. Om Namaschandika Namah. Om Datti Gauri Mata Namah. Om Kalashvarun Devata Namah. Om Chatushta Yogini Devi Mata Namah. Om Suryadi Nogra Devata Namah. Om Im Saraswate Namah. Om Ganga Divye Namah. Om Namo Hanumanta Namah. Om Namaschandika Namah. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namah. Om Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namah. Om Hari Markat Markata Namaha. 11 times. Trembakam yajami sugandim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhana prityor mukshamamridar. 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 Trembakam yajamai sugandim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhana prityor mukshamamridar. Sarvadevi sarvadevtanama swaha. There is a coconut on that table that Mohini brought. Can I have it? The Purnahoti. She was the only one that brought a coconut. A shaved coconut. Let us all stand. Ash, come closer so you could touch and they could touch you. And everybody will touch. Everybody touch hands. As we join in the Purnahuti, the final offering, we pray, O Mahadev, O Lord Shiva, you have blessed us, no doubt. This morning we pray that whatever merits can be conveyed out of our worship, may these merits be conveyed unto all members of our group, to those who are here and to those who would have left us. We pray as we make the offering of the Purnahuti, a special prayer for Uncle Harry, who did not come tonight, but I'm sure he's looking on. And so we pray for healing and for speedy recovery. 1 year ago, on the night of Shivaraatri, Pundit Ram attended our Shivaraatri celebration. And tonight he is not here, but his children and his wife, they're here. And so I remember him and I remember his soul, praying that may this transition for his soul be a peaceful one. And may you, Lord Shiva, give strength and comfort to his wife and to his children. May you, Lord Shiva, bless the souls of all of those who have died by this vicious virus. May you bless the families that have lost their loved ones. May you give comfort and strength to those who are about to give up and to lose hope. We beg of you, O Lord Shiva. We pray this selfless prayer, asking you to share your blessings upon us all, to shine through us to the world around us, O Mahadev. We have sung your praises and we have waked for the entire night. But if we have faltered, we ask a Chamba for forgiveness, O Lord Shiva. Tonight we pray that may you bless us all. May you bless our homes and our families. May you bless all of those who are looking on in their homes and their families. We pray, O Lord Shiva, you are easily pleased. You save the entire creation. Save us from our trouble. Liberate us from our distresses. Listen to our prayers. Purnamada Purnamidam Puranat Purnamrakchate Purnasya Purnamadha Purnamevavashishtate Om Sarvam Ve Purnagvam Tat Purushaya Vitme Mahadevaya Nimi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat Sarvam Ve Purnagvam Swaha Om Sarvatirita Samayuktam Sugandhim Nirmalam Jalam Achmanamyatatta Grihana Parameshwara Achmanam Samarpyami Achmanam Vrate Gretam Om Namah Shivaya. We find this smoke. Vanaspatira Surabhuto Gandharyu Ganaduttamagre Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Vrate Gretam. Find that smoke in the direction of your home. Om Namah Shivaya. Let us all bow to the fire. Analanama, Analanama, Analanama. Om Namah Shivaya. Tonight I want you to put your hands, put your hands together. And I want you to say a little prayer to Lord Shiva. Talk to him. Same kaik tara jab boli jal tal nabh mein madur swaboli. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Same kaik tara jab bole jal tal nabh mein madur swabole. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Sing with me, everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. जग के दुख संताप रे मनवा जब तुझको कर पाए, मोह माया की ज्योति बंधन जब तुझको भरमाए, जपना मुख से ओले ओले ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
This morning, I want to say a special thank you to Lord Shiva, blessing us with the opportunity to sing His praises and have the ability to host this yajna. I'm seeing Mama Lina crying and I'm wondering why she's making me feel to cry. I'm seeing Carol crying and I'm wondering why, making me feel to cry. I'm seeing Vedanand crying and Lakshmi crying and this morning I want to say thank you to our president and our vice president. I want to say thank you to all members of the executive or treasurer. I want to say thank you from the depths of my heart. I want to say thank you for not only this yajna, but thank you for being you and for being a part of my life and for being a part of this group and for being the hands and the legs and the shoulders upon which I can lean. I want to pray that Lord Shiva will bless you in a very special way and give you the strength so that in my weak moments there is somewhere that I can lean. I want to say thank you to all members of the group who are out in the park. They spent the entire night out in the park. I want to pray that Lord Shiva bless you and bless your home and bless your families. To the children who came every night and diligently performed the puja, Shania and Selena and Ashish and Ari and Shanta and Shiva and Vedanand and Vivek. I want to say thank you to the children for coming. Everybody is important and everybody helped to make this yajna a success. There were thousands who looked at us and they came to the yajna in their own homes. We want to say thank you for choosing us and allowing us to keep your company. I want to say thank you, a special thank you to the members of the group. Sharon has been playing that tabla from 6 o'clock yesterday evening to 6 o'clock this morning. It is almost 6 o'clock. And every time I say to her, well, let's take a break, she said, no, I'm ready. Dan Paul has been playing the harmonium and the keyboard and singing and here, there, and I'm pointing and he's going and in every direction. And I have a special love for him. I don't know, a special love. I sometimes try to persuade him. Every time he says I can't go, I persuade him. I try to tell him why he has to go on. And somehow I always win. Dan Paul, may the merits out of your actions tonight be conveyed unto your children, not you. May your children reap the merits of that action that you have performed tonight. May they be successful and prosperous. I thought Sintra would have recruited Vikash to go with her tonight, but Vikash remained. I'm proud of your decision, Vikash. Sintra and Rakesh, when I call Rakesh, he always jumps to the cause. He says, yes, I'll be there. And if I can't come, I'll make a provision. He never leaves me stranded. Rakesh, I want to thank you. Sintra has the voice of an angel. There's no doubt about it. It is our very first Shivaraatri without her mother. From childhood, her mother will be the one who will make the Persad and we will offer from childhood. It is sad for me. When I looked at Sintra and I saw the tiredness in her face, that is not exertion from waking, it's exertion from the stress of the loss and many different things. When I look at Lakshmi's face, I could see the pain of separation. But Lord Shiva is the God of comfort. He will give strength and comfort. When I could see Nigel crying in the yajna. Tonight, this morning, I'm so in tune with tonight, To all of you, you are special. And I want to say I love you. Can you imagine what next year's Shivaraatri is going to be like? When there is 108 lingams of Lord Shiva. And when there is the drums and the mantras and the bhajans. Can you imagine what the other Shivaraatri will be like? When there is a huge murti of Lord Shiva towering in the sky, overlooking the ocean. Can you imagine what that is going to be like? Lord Shiva, through your grace, the impossible will become possible. And through your grace, with the cooperation and the help of all of those who are willing, we will be able to succeed in our venture. To the President of the UAE Hindu Society, we want to say thank you for choosing us and our group, our humble group. We know you had many choices, and we want to say thank you for choosing us, for making us a priority, for making Lord Shiva through us a priority. We want to say thank you. And to all the students of the not only the Hindu Society, but all the students of the UWI, we want to pray a special prayer. May Lord Shiva bless them. To the children of the world, in other parts of the world, there are bombings and all sorts of things happening. We pray that Lord Shiva will take charge and control. Tonight, Lord Shiva, may you be pleased with us. We bow to you again and again. जप तप साधन सच्चा सच है ज्ञानी चंद बलते पतित पावन नाम ही उसका नाम का जिसके जीवन की चदरिया डोले नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
I want to say a special thank you to Hema and Persad for tolerating me and my request of using their home. I want to say a special thank you to Sasi. Sasi is sometimes my sister, sometimes my mother, sometimes my best friend, and sometimes my worst enemy. But it doesn't change the fact that she is Sasi. Sasi in nature, not only by the name. I want to say thank you to Sasi for always being a pillar, a strength. Blessings to you. To all of those whom I may have forgotten. I can't call everybody's name, you know. Carol was not supposed to be here and she's here. You know why? Lord Shiva says, find yourself in the Yajna. Find yourself. I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Karma hi sacha jnana yoga hi, karma hi kar jeevan mein, karne kaam ki uttam कहते दुनिया के उपवन में, दया धर्म का बीच से बोले ओ नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. Sing with me, everybody. ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम नमः शिवाय. We join in the arati. Om Jai Shiva Omkara, Swami Har Shiva Omkara, Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva, Har Gandhi Dhara. Together. Om Har 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 Mahadev, Ekananda Chadurananda, Panchananda Raje,
Vishnu Panchanand Raje,
Hansasana Garudasana,
Hansasan Garurasana,
Vrishevahan Saje.
Om Har 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 Mahadev,
दो भुजे चार चतुर भुज, दस भुज ते सोहे,
शिव दस भुज अति सोहे,
तीनों रूप निरखता,
तीनों रूप निरखता,
त्रिभुवन जन मोहे.
ओम हर 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 महादेव,
अक्ष माला बनमाला, पुण्य माला धारी,
शिव रुद्र माला धारे,
चंदन मृग मर सोहे,
चंदन मृग मन सोहे,
पाले शशि धारे.
ओम हर 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 महादेव,
श्वेतांबर पीतांबर, बागंबर साजे,
शिव बागंबर साजे,
शिवानंद स्वामी
कहत शिवानंद स्वामी
वांछित फल पावे।
ओम हर 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 महादेव। हर 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 महादेव। हर 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 महादेव। हर 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 महादेव।
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय गिरिजापति सदा शंकर नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव
जय भुवनेश्वर
जय शिव शंकर
भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर गिरिजा 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 शंकर
जय प्रलयंकर जय पीतांबर जय शिव शंकर जय प्रलयंकर जय पीतांबर जय शिव शंकर
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव
परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। ॐ नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय।
ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय।
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे। ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ॐ नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय।
हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे।
आवाहनं न जानामि विसर्जनं पूजं चैव न जानामि चमस्त्वं परमेश्वरं मन्त्रहीनं ग्राहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन यत्पूजितं म्याटेवा परिपूर्णं तदस्तमे। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धो च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पंकजम् सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मा मुरारी शिवरन्तकारी भानु शशि भूमि सतो गुरस्य गुरुश्च शुक्र शनि राहु केत सर्वे ग्रह शान्तिकारा भवन्तु पत्रस्य पत्रस्य भूतेशयान मालं मुकुन्दं मनतः स्मरामि अग्नि देवता वातु देवता सूर्य देवता चंद्रमा देवता बुद्ध देवता बृहस्पति देवता रुद्रो देवता शांति पृथ्वी शांति आपा शांति उषरे शांति वनस्पते शांति ईश्वरी व शांति ब्रह्मा शांति सर्वं शांति शांति रेव शांति सामा शांति रिद्धि भवतु उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय अयोध्या राम लला की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय ओरेसा जगन्नाथ की जय बोलो वे सब संतने की जय सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम सीताराम 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 कहिए जाहि मीरा के रामा जाहि मीरा के रामा ताहि बिधि रही उमापति महादेव की उमापति महादेव की उमापति महादेव की सत्य सनातन धर्म की गणेश उत्सव फाउंडेशन की हर 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 महादेव ओम हर 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 महादेव हर 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 महादेव ओम हर 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 महादेव
हर हर
there is one person here that I'm sure, without a doubt and without a query in my mind, will receive maximum blessing. He's a man who wears every insult, every request with a smile. He smiles for everything. Where is he? What is he doing? See? He's still doing something. I don't know if this time, if he doesn't go to Vaikunt, I don't know which other time he will go. I want you all to give Robbie a round of applause. He is the most efficient, tolerant, peaceful, humble, loving, kind, generous, hilarious person I've ever met in my life. He makes the jokes, but he never makes jokes with me. I only hear the jokes through the others, but he never, actually when he's in my company, he's very respectful. He doesn't say anything. And I said to him last week, I said, when you're making your joke with them, don't even call my name. Robbie, I don't know how to say thank you. But actually I don't want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you. Tandy Shirley and Omkar, I can't call you Uncle Omkar, because you're just a few years older than me, I'm sure. I want to say thank you to both of you. Tandy Shirley sat in that chair for almost the whole night. She didn't. And every time you look at her, she smiles. Have you ever noticed that? You want something to eat? No. You want something to drink? No. You need to use the washroom? No. Are you okay? Yes. And she wears it with a smile. Elegant, very elegant. I want to say thank you to both of you, to Omkar and to 103 representative. I've met you so much times I can't even remember the name. But I want to say thank you to you. Darian, I want to say thank you. That's why I didn't remember that name. We'll have to change it. We'll have to change it to some. Swami say we'll call you Chanar Dat. We'll remember that. Or Krishna Dat. We'll remember that. We want to say thank you. I want you to play that tapu. I want you to play the tapu with the tabla, right? And you see, Auntie Angie, Lord Shiva will be disappointed with you this morning. You never get up and dance a little bit for Lord Shiva. The night is almost coming to an end. It is the time of Lord Shiva. It is a few minutes to 6. We still have a few minutes again. Come, Auntie Angie, we could do better than that. It is the morning, Monday morning. Is it?
Tuesday.
Oh, I'm just checking. It is Tuesday morning. Lord Shiva becomes happy when we sing the praises of the Devi too. Get up and dance, Auntie Angie. Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
Jai Bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
साखिया मैया मंगना भई है,
साखिया में अमगना बनी है,
साखिया मैया मंगना भई है,
साखिया में अमगना बई है,
साखिया मुस्कानी भवानी, साखिया मुस्कानी
भवानी
बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी.
Cindy, how you been dancing, Lord Shiva? President, how you been dancing, Lord Shiva? Come, get up, get up. Omati, how you been dancing, Lord Shiva? Kelly, Ria, come on, get up and dance. Mama, get up and dance, Lord Shiva. Jai bolo Jagadamba Bhavani,
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
Jai bolo Jagadamba Bhavani.
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी.
पूरिया देखे मैया मंगना भई है,
पुरिया देख में अमगना बई है,
पूरिया देखे मैया मंगना भई है,
पुरिया देख में अमगना बई है,
पूरिया देखे मुस्कानी भवानी, पूरिया देखे मुस्कानी भवानी. बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी.
अम्बा भवानी जगदम्बा भवानी.
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी,
जय बोलो जगदम्बा भवानी.
शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा,
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा,
शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा.
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा.
नन्ही वाहन शंकर शिवा,
नन्हे वाहन शंकर शिवा.
बोलो शंकर शिवा,
बोलो शंकर शिवा,
बोलो शंकर शिवा.
बोलो शंकर शिवा.
नागा भोजन शंकर शिवा,
नारा भोजन शंकर शिवा,
नागा भोजन शंकर शिवा. शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा,
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा.
शंकर गुरु शंकर भगवान शंकर गुरु,
शंकर गुरु शंकर गुरु शंकर भगवान शंकर गुरु.
नन्ही वाहन शंकर शिवा,
नन्हे वाहन शंकर शिवा.
बोलो शंकर शिवा,
बोलो शंकर शिवा,
बोलो शंकर शिवा.
बोलो शंकर शिवा.
नागा भोजन शंकर शिवा,
नारा भोजन शंकर शिवा,
नागा भोजन शंकर शिवा.
नारा भोजन शंकर शिवा.
शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा.
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा.
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय.
हर बम 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 बोला,
हर बम बम भोला,
हर बम 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 बोला.
हर बम बम भोला.
दिमिटक मृदंग बोला,
दिमिटक मृदंग बोला.
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय. शिव शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी,
शिव शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी.
शिव शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी,
शिव शंकर
शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी
शिव 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 शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगचाला जटा गंगारि धारी
ओ अंग विभूतलिए मृगशाला जटा गंगारधारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगचाला जटा गंगारि धारी
ओ अंग विभूतलिए मृगशाला जटा गंगारधारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगचाला जटा गंगारि धारी
ओ अंग विभूतलिए मृगशाला जटा गंगारधारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगचाला जटा गंगारि धारी
ओ अंग विभूतलिए मृगशाला जटा गंगारधारी
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माथे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माथे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माथे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा माथे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माथे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माथे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
चाके तीन नयन जग जानी महावरदानी
जाके 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 तीन नयन जग जानी महावरदानी ओ पाहन बैल त्रिशूल विराजत करुणागिन लपतान ओ पाहन बैल
तुलसीदास चरणन पर मूरत
तुलसीदास चरणन पर मोहत तुलसीदास चरणन पर मोहत
तुलसीदास चरणन पर मोहत तुलसीदास चरणन पर मूरत
तुलसीदास चरणन पर मोहत
तुलसीदास चरणन मन मूरत
तुलसीदास चरणन पर मोहत
तुलसीदास चरणन पर मूरत
ताहा काला बजावे सुरतानी महावरदानी काला बजावे सुरतानी
महावरदानी
ताहा 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 काला बजावे सुरतानी
महावरदानी बोल शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज आज।
शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज राज
बोल शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज आज।
शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज राज
बोल कैलाशपति महाराज आज।
ओ कैलाशपति महाराज राज
बोल कैलाशपति महाराज आज।
बोल कैलाशपति महाराज राज
बोल शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज आज।
शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज राज
बोलो बोलो अयोध्या
नाथ
पति रामचंद्र की सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय।